I will say that the savings that CBO has identified that we've reinvested back into the Farm Bill, quite frankly, do not cut during the course of this 5 years of this Farm Bill any individual or family SNAP benefits. There's rhetoric on the outside that is amplifying that for their own purposes, but it's just not true.
So to the surprise of absolutely no one, House Republicans are trying to use the Farm Bill to cut SNAP by $30 billion.
I have been listening to everyone that had something to say. And the interesting thing, if the public pays attention, is that when my Republican colleagues speak about SNAP, these are the things that I've heard. It's not a cut. It's cost neutral. Potential cuts, an increase in benefits. But every time you listen to the Democrats speak, they say the exact same thing. And the information that they're relying on is called data. And the data came from the nonpartisan CBO. The only information that we have before us to make a determination of how we will proceed is data from the CBO. This is what we're supposed to rely upon. I don't know where all of these different iterations about what's going to happen is coming from, but the data says $30 billion. That's what the data says, not what the Democrats say, but what the data says. When we say things like we're fighting for SNAP benefits, I do want to be clear that me fighting for SNAP benefits isn't about my district. I mean, obviously it is, but at the end of the day, so many members have said, my district, my district, my district, my district, my district. When we write a farm bill, it is for everyone in the United States of America. And just to clarify, when it comes to SNAP benefits specifically, rural America uses more SNAP benefits than urban America. And right now, I serve an urban district. The majority of my Republican colleagues serve rural districts. So when I say that I'm fighting for a bill that includes making sure that people in this country don't go hungry, I'm not saying that just to say that this is about Texas 30. I'm saying that to say that this is about all of us. So I am not just fighting for my constituents, I'm fighting for yours too. I used to live in Texarkana, Texas. And for those that don't know, Texarkana is at the border of Texas and Arkansas. You're put in a situation where if you decide to go to the grocery store on the Texas side, which the grocery stores on the Texas side are better, but nevertheless, if you get your benefits in Arkansas, you can't go buy the groceries in Texas. How does that make sense? Like, this is micromanaging to no level, about $6 a day. Before I begin my officially prepared remarks, there were some questions posed to you specifically about debt. And there seemed to be a concern about the mounting debt. And I am going out on a limb, and I am going to ask you if you are aware of how much debt we added under the Trump administration, out of curiosity. If you don't know, I know off the top of my head, but something tells me you may know.
I have an imprecise number. I
Okay.
bet you have the precise number in front of you, so I don't want to give you the imprecise number if you have the precise.
No. Give me the imprecise.
No, please.
Well, I'm going off of my head because that wasn't part of what I was supposed to say. But long story short, $8 trillion was added under the Trump administration. And so I think that it is important that we focus on making sure that we're keeping our debt under control, but I think it's also important that we're honest about how that debt is accrued and make sure that we don't continue to make the same mistakes. I know that the election was brought up, and there are those that are standing by their man, but they also seem to be concerned about debt, which seems like the two don't go together, because we know that their man actually is really good at running up the credit card debt for this country, because he likes to give tax breaks to his very rich friends, which means that we don't get as much money coming through the door when they are not required to pay their fair share.
At the end of the day, what this boils down to is the fact that we know that some of the wealthiest individuals and the wealthiest corporations in the country consistently pay $0 in federal income taxes. They may pay some taxes here and there, but they're constantly getting them cut. That's the whole thing that Trump did with the tax cuts. And Joe Biden didn't even raise the corporate tax rate back up to where it was before Trump went into office. And yet Republicans are trying to strip away $6 a day from families who are literally just trying not to starve to death. When Joe Biden did his State of the Union address, he made it clear that Republicans are looking to slash many benefits that people count on. That's nothing new, though. It's not like we really needed him to tell us that. Marjorie Taylor Greene stood up, called him a liar. Because in reality, Republicans are looking with their budget to slash $6 trillion from benefits that people count on. But again, this is nothing new. It's what they've been doing forever. One of the broader issues with America's benefit system is that more and more people need it because the cost of living won't stop going up. Every year, the cost of rent, the cost of health insurance, the cost of college tuition, pretty much anything that people need to participate in the modern job market to maybe buy a home one day. Lord knows who can do that anymore. How many millennials and Gen Z aren't going to be able to ever purchase a home? And more people need benefits that don't cover anything. If you make a couple $100s over a limit, maybe you don't qualify now. So none of this is being updated, all the while Republicans want to slash benefits.